Oops. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Abhijit Deshpande. I am the director of the Construction Management Program. Welcome to the Construction Management Information session. The Construction Management Program at UC is located in the Civil and Architectural Engineering and Construction Management Program Department in the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. In today's session, we want to give you an overview of what construction management is, what the program is, what type of courses and knowledge and skills you will gain by joining the construction management program. So I'm really fortunate today to have a really awesome team to share really interesting information about the construction management program and all the knowledge we have. So today with me, I have Professor Jill Flood from Division of Experience-Based Learning and Career Education. She's going to talk about the co-op program at UC and various opportunities available to you within the co-op program. We also have with us Dan Warnhagen from Danish Construction Company. He's the pre-construction management manager at Danish. He's a Bearcat also. So he's going to talk to you about what does a career in construction management look like? What do construction managers do from day to day, and what opportunities are available? We also have our academic advisors with us today. Ms. Kim Zimmerer and Jacob Steele. They are the academic advisors in the CAECM department. So should you join our program, you'll be working with them, and they'll be the ones that will, guide you through the CM program in CEAS. We also have Ms. Corinne Cook. She's the Assistant Director of Academic Advising in CEAS. So I have a really good team with me to talk to you about construction management, the curriculum, the CM program, the CM profession, and navigating your life through CEAS. So in this next 1.5 hours, we would like to chat with you about the construction management program and all the opportunities that are available to us. I'm going to quickly run you through a short presentation, and then after that we can all have a conversation. So this is the only presentation I promise in today's session. So just to give you a kind of a background of what construction management is, one of my colleagues, Dean Albrecht, she looked up, construction management and did a Google search on it, and she came up with these pictures where people with blueprints, holding blueprints and pointing at random things on construction sites. So there is a lot of misinformation and limited information about the construction management profession within the college and within the general society. So I wanted to quickly go through what construction management is and what it entails. Just to give you some background, my background is in industrial construction. I worked in the industry for 5 years, built chemical plants, process plants, etc., etc. I earned my PhD from University of Cincinnati in 2009, and I've been teaching here since 2015. So I've been teaching for more than a decade. So construction management is near and dear to my heart because from my undergraduate education to graduate education to PhD to my professional work experience, it's all in this one area of construction management. So I quickly want to discuss what it is. So when you think of construction management and what is construction management, to me, I'm sure if you look up online, you'll find a number of definitions of what construction management is. But to me, at the most basic level, construction management is managing construction projects. Now, as construction managers, we build every single facility and every single infrastructure that a modern society needs to function the way it does. Right from residential construction, the home that you live in, to the educational projects, the college that you are going to, or you are already taking classes in. So education facilities, college buildings, such the highways and bridges and roads that you drive on, the high-rise buildings, commercial buildings that you see in downtown, the hospitals, the healthcare facilities that you use on a day-to-day basis, the industrial plants that manufacture things, chemicals and manufactured products and so on and so forth that we need on a day-to-day basis across the board. For all of these, all of these things to exist, you need a construction manager to build these projects. Now, we're looking at the projects that you're seeing in front of you in this PowerPoint presentation. They can vary very widely. So, for example, a residential project can be as little as $200,000, and a healthcare project can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. A highway project can be worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. When they eventually replace the Brent Spence Bridge, here in Cincinnati, that project is going to be north of 1.5, maybe close to $2 billion. So these projects are, they vary in complexity, they vary in size, they vary in the amount of work that needs to be done. And when these projects are built, the owners want you, the construction manager, to build them on time, within schedule, that is, within budget, with good quality and safety performance. And you are, as a construction manager, there may be time, you may have hundreds, if not thousands of workers working at site. So managing the complex construction with all of these people, all of these stakeholders, owners, engineers, architects, subcontractors, is a pretty complex and difficult job. And that's what construction management is. Really, the best thing about construction management as a profession is that, when you drive through the city, you'll be able to point to projects that you actually were on a team that built the project. You built bridges, building high-rise buildings, building houses, building colleges, so on and so forth. So that's what construction management is. Essentially, we build civilizations, right? So at UC and within the CM program, we prepare you for a successful career in this profession. It's a very satisfying profession. So what kind of knowledge does a construction manager need and use on a day-to-day basis? You need to have technical knowledge, because you're going to interpret complex designs and specifications and actually build them, right? You're going to plan and schedule and execute the project. You need business and financial knowledge because you are also going to make sure that your company makes money. So you need to have pretty good complex business and financial knowledge. So you're going to prepare estimates, bid for projects, track costs, so on and so forth. So you need technical knowledge, you need business knowledge, and most importantly, you need interpersonal skills. You need to be able to interact with people. You need to be able to interact with your workers, superintendents, foremen at your site, subcontractors at your site, your own company. Within your own company, you need to be able to interact with estimators, planners, safety personnel, so on and so forth. You need to be able to interact with architects, engineers, so on and so forth. So in construction management, these interpersonal skills are extremely important because the job involves a lot of communication, the job involves a lot of problem solving, and for that, you need to be a little bit outgoing and you need to be able to communicate effectively with people, right? The beauty of this job is that if you want to work in an office, you can work in an office in an estimating department, in a corporate office, or you can also work On a construction site where you are out and about, where you are working with a number of material suppliers and subcontractors and foremen and workers, so on and so forth. It's a very dynamic job on a day-to-day basis. So you need a mix of all of these skills to be able to be successful in this profession, right? To have long-term success. If you don't want to sit in front of a computer all day, this is a great profession for you because it will allow you to move out and about on a daily basis. So construction management and successful construction management, a successful construction manager needs to have all of these skills, business skills, technical skills, and interpersonal skills. And that's what we try to build within the 4 or 5 years that you spend in the CM program here at UC in the College of Engineering and Applied Science. So what does the curriculum look like? Now, you're transition students, so your curriculum is going to look some different because in most cases, in the first year, students are taking first year engineering courses. Since we have civil engineering, architectural engineering, and construction management. In construction management, you probably will not take this, but students take construction CM first year seminar. In the spring semester of first year, they take construction drawings. So construction drawings 1, construction drawings 2, and introduction to effective speaking. This is more or less the same curriculum across the board for civil engineers, architectural engineers, and construction management students. From second year onwards, this is when you're actually going to take construction related courses. So since I mentioned, construction management is a mixture of, you need to have technical skills. So you'll be taking civil engineering classes, statics, basic strength of material construction, material surveying, so on and so forth. You'll be taking business classes, law, accounting, finance, management courses. You'll be taking construction focused specialty courses that I teach and my colleagues teach, safety management, estimating, scheduling, lean construction, mechanical systems, electrical systems, plumbing systems, quality management, building information modeling, so on. And you'll also be taking public speaking classes, psychology classes, and these are going to help you in managing that, learning those interpersonal skills up to a certain extent. Now you can major in construction management, and you can also, minor in business administration or real estate or even Spanish or psychology, whatever is of interest to you, right? So there are a number of minors available within the CM program as well. So our curriculum is constantly evolving. We are constantly improving to make sure that you are getting knowledge and skills that you are going to be able to use when you work in the industry. So we are trying to keep the curriculum as up to date as possible, right? And we have dedicated faculty within the CM program. So there's 4 of us right now, just focused on CM, and then 1 more faculty member will be joining us in the fall semester. The unique thing about the CM program is that we are all professor educators. That means we are dedicated to teaching. We do some research, but for the most part, our focus is on teaching and helping you become successful in your educational endeavors at UC. So a little bit about construction management, a little bit of curriculum. I want to discuss a very important thing with you, and that is, how do you develop those interpersonal skills? How do you develop those leadership skills? How do you develop teamwork skills, right? In a classroom, there is a little bit of time for me and most of my colleagues to, have you work in teams and so on and so forth, but that by no means is sufficient. You need to supplement that with other things, and that's what you can do by participating in construction management-based student organizations. What you're seeing in front of you is a chart of Construction Student Association. This is one of the best construction students organization in the entire United States of America. We've won national awards. This organization has won national awards. I have seen students participate in this organization for the last 5-6 years, and I can firsthand vouch, about how much value it adds to students as people, how much growth I see in them when they participate in these organizations, right? This is not required in the CM program, but we highly encourage all of our students to participate in CSA, because to me personally, it is absolutely priceless, because there's just so much benefits you can get as a student. These teamwork, leadership skills, interpersonal skills, you can really develop. You can make friends, you can develop network connections. Is just absolutely incredible. So what you're seeing in front of you is a QR code. This is, the QR code for the website for CSA. They also have a Facebook page, so check them out. Within CSA, you have all of these various different sub-organizations that you can head up or participate in. Whatever interests you, there is something definitely available to you within CSA. Now, what does CSA do other than all of those, interesting sub-organizations? CSA participates in competitions. CSA does a lot of volunteering. We love that our students are a part of the community and they give back to the community. And this involves building houses for Habitat for Humanity, working with people, working cooperatively and volunteering there twice a year, once in spring and once in fall. In this organization, our students go out and help elderly people, disabled people, do minor and major repairs on their houses, clean up their yards, so on and so forth. So our students do a lot of volunteering. They go to field trips on all the major construction sites around Cincinnati, and they participate in a number of competitions. So one of the cool volunteering things they do is they participate in a competition called Construction. In this competition, what students do is that they obtain cans from Kroger, and then they design and build structure out of it, any structure. So this was the first year when we did it, and they built a rubber duck out of these cans. And once the competition is over, these cans get donated to the Greater Cincinnati Free Store Food Bank, right? So thousands upon thousands of cans get donated to the Free Store Food Bank by our students. Our students also organize annually a networking event designed for you to, essentially interview for jobs and meet a number of prospective employers, right? So there's a lot of other things you can do by participating in these organizations. So the one that I wanted to share with you was, this was a really neat structure that our students built. This is based on Finding Dory, the movies, and it looks pretty neat. This was in downtown Cincinnati, where this was kind of put up. And the fun part was that Ellen Show tweeted this picture out, so that was really neat. So you can do a lot of fun and neat things. Additionally, you can participate in a number of competitions, and when you participate in a competition, you are traveling to these places. Not now because of the pandemic, everything is virtual, but you are traveling to various different cities all over the US. The university pays for your travel and your hotel stay, and a part of your food as well. Here you are participating in competitions and competing against other construction management programs in our region, nationally, and our students on a routine basis win these competitions. So you see all of these pictures, they're all winning teams. The list is too long for one slide, it's just incredibly long. But you can travel to, the OCA competition is in Columbus, Ohio. Every year we go to Chicago, and then for other competitions, our students travel to Las Vegas, San Diego, Honolulu, etc., etc. There are various different tracks depending on what you find interesting, right? So here's some other pictures of our students winning in some of these competitions, right? So Before I go forward to the next slide, the one thing I wanted to mention is that National Association of Home Builders had their annual competition, national competition, just last week, no, week before last, and our students placed third nationally. And this is the third or fourth time that they've competed in this competition. So this was a residential competition where they designed and built, essentially planned the design and construction of a residential subdivision. So our students took third place nationally. And contractors are really happy about our students because they are really applying themselves outside of their classes and learning these new skills, which makes them much more marketable, right? Construction management as a profession is growing. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, the construction management jobs are going to grow at a rate of 8%. Compare this to national average of about 4% for all other professions for the next decade. So according to BLS, you are going to see a lot of growth in this profession, a lot of job opportunities in this profession over the next decade or so. So I just wanted to share all this with you, and I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to hand it over to Professor Jill Flood, and she's going to talk to you about all the co-op opportunities, et cetera, that are available to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Abhijit. Really appreciate it. Good morning. I am, of course, working from home as everyone else is. Probably would have been a snow day today, maybe if we were actually on campus. But just want to talk to you a little bit about the co-op program. The CM program at UC is so well respected across the country. And so employers come from all over the country to get students from UC in the construction management. If you come into the construction management program, there are 5 full-time semesters of work experience that's tied to the curriculum. And students usually after their first year will start rotating between co-op and school. And so when you talk to students that are actually doing it, they'll tell you that when they kind of get tired of school, they go out to work. And when they get tired of work, they go back to school. So it really changes things up. But the most important thing about the co-op program is that the students coming out of the co-op program are transitioning into full-time with one of their co-op employers very early. So the class of 2021 that will be graduating in May, in any given year, typically has their job by Christmas before they even graduate. This year's a little bit different. I only have a couple students that are still job searching, but COVID does change things just a little bit. Everyone was a little bit slower hiring full-time, but in the past, I mean, it was nothing for students to have jobs a year ahead of time before they would start when they graduate, which Abhijit put the average medium salary up there, but students coming out of this program are getting offers of in the 60s. So that's kind of exciting too, because it's the reward of coming out with the degree, the return on the investment of coming to school and doing it is very, very good. The CM program is an amazing program, and the growth we're seeing in the industry for jobs in the future are the reason that we're here. I mean, every day I'm trying to find jobs for students, but I'm always have more jobs than students. And so we're looking for students who want to come into a profession where every day is different. The variety is there. You're always getting to see the work you put in and what actually happens at the end. You get to work in teams. You get to work with lots of different people. So it's a great profession for students who aren't always sure what they want to do, but do like having the variety and the diversity of the day, and the diversity of changing projects and what projects are different. So it's really good for them. I actually invited one of our great employers, Dana's Construction here, to kind of talk about the need in the industry. And Dan Borgenhagen is on this call, and I'm hoping that he doesn't mind just talking a little bit about, the co-op program and how much Dana's appreciates the students that come from UC. Dan, do you mind giving us a couple words about the co-op program?
Not at all, Jill. Thank you. Um, Sorry, getting adjusted here, but I'm home as well today with the weather. But I can't really reiterate enough Jill's comments about the co-op program and the benefit that the students receive and being able to take the knowledge they're learning every semester and being able to apply it in real world situations, but also giving you that opportunity to really understand what you enjoy, what you're passionate about. So by the time you graduate, you have a good direction, a good to focus in regards to what your career is going to become. Um, I was a co-op student at Danis almost 30 years ago. I'm still here. The co-op program is the foundation of our company. We invest in those students that become leaders of our company. And actually, out of 20 leadership, only one is not a co-op student from our company. So that tells you how much our company and others value the work opportunities and really that experience that you're going to gain from the co-op program. The thing I will reiterate or convey to you is there are so many different opportunities in the construction industry. I know Abjeet focused on the different types of projects, and there's many. Everything that you do in your day has some type of construction related to it. The roads you drive on, the schools you go to, the churches that you go to, obviously pray with your community and so forth. The department stores you go to, obviously shop. Department stores, retail stores. So there are so many things within our city that depends on construction and at different many levels that the opportunities are boundless in regard to what you can find. Abjeet spoke about project management. There's estimators who do all the really quantification and putting a pricing to how much things are going to cost. There's the field craftsmen who are actually physically doing the work. There's individuals in VDC, which is virtual reality and innovation and technology. So there's so many different opportunities and areas that you could find yourself in the construction industry, and it continues to grow. In the United States versus a lot of what I'll say international countries, we're all about always something new and better. And as much as that's right or wrong in regards to sustainability, there's always work, even though, we have our ups and downs, but realistically, the construction industry has so much to offer over your lifetime and your career. Obviously, I've made a career of it and enjoyed it very much so, and been exposed to many different opportunities. And that's really what the co-op program is about, is to allow you to experience those different opportunities, that you are prepared. And again, as I mentioned, have a true focus once you graduate on where your passion is for your future. Did that help, Jill?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. He said two things that I want you guys to understand too, is that today when I talk to students, they so much talk about sustainability. They talk about technology. Well, I'm here to tell you that in the construction business, the young people are going to be the drivers of this. The construction industry today is moving both in new technologies and sustainability. And to be honest with you, the students that I've worked with, that I've been doing this for 13 years, they're change makers in the industry. And it's so exciting to see them do that in the industry as the industry progresses. And the construction industry, there was a little bit of uncertainty when COVID hit, but it's an essential business and it's moving forward, and I'm not having any problems placing students. I'm getting students jobs every single semester. And I keep saying, and I've been saying for years, I need more students because my companies are saying that they need more students. So I'm here to just say it's like a great opportunity. And I want to say one thing, and I'm glad that Dan's on this call too, because I know this about Dan, is that sometimes students look at engineering and they think, well, I'm not going to be able to do the math and science piece of the engineering. And I will just tell you that it's really the first year that's the hurdle that you have to get over. You take a calculus class and a physics class, and then once you actually get over that hurdle and go out to work, everything seems so much easier because you're actually doing it in the field and then taking the class as well. And they kind of go hand in hand. It's very nice. But I know Dan and I have had this conversation when he was here some years ago, that, you know, that was a challenge for him, but he got through it, and it was an amazing opportunity. And it was sort of like, you know, I wasn't the A calculus student, right, Dan?
Yes, yes.
But got through that hurdle of the first year. And then after that, everything really is good. Can you speak on that? Because I think that's really important for students who want to transfer in.
So to Jill's point, and as much as I hate to admit this out loud, my high school senior calculus teacher indicated, Dan, math is not your direction in life, so don't pursue it. But I will say this, you know, just a short tidbit. You know, when I first graduated from high school, as most have a desire to want to play athletics in college, I attended Hanover College in Indiana my first year, taking business and psychology. You know, went down the path with football. It didn't work out. But I spent most of my really teen life working with my hands, building things, working for a home builder, had my own lawn service. So I knew I wanted to be in the industry where I could obviously create something and see the results of my fruits and my labor and so forth. So I found the construction management program. And again, as I mentioned, math was not my strong point, but I had a professor tell me early in my career that, you know, you're going to crunch numbers, but the main thing is you need to understand how to solve problems and the different types of maths and physics, soils. It's really understanding how you look at a problem and coming up with a solution. And really, I took that approach as, yes, I was learning the theory and understanding how to apply it. Again, the numbers piece wasn't always my greatest strength, but the biggest thing I took away from it is learning how to solve problems. Because as you move through your careers, regardless if it's math or science related, there's always going to be problems to be solved, and you have to be able to come to the table with solutions. And take that approach to your learning right now, and look at the bigger picture of it. Obviously, you want to do well and pass and so forth, but the main thing is, as you walk away from your academic career, is that you're in a position that you know how to use what you've learned to solve the problems that are going to face you in your careers. Does that help, Jill?
Yeah, very much so. Thanks, Dan. My background's actually in math. I'm sorry, like I did have a bachelor's in math because I liked math. But the reason I liked it was because it was problem solving. And that's what it is. It's like doing puzzles. It's problem solving. It really does teach you critical thinking skills because you're actually trying to solve problems in math. So that's really great. The other point that I wanted to make about co-op before we kind of move on is that, you know, 50% of our employers are in town, which is Dayton and Cincinnati. And of course, Dayton is actually located a little bit south of Dayton. And about 50% are out of town. And students that want to stay in town can stay in town. Students that want to go out of town can go out of town. And the one thing that's really different with CM from other majors, I mean, I'm in a hallway of all the people that are getting engineering jobs for other majors. But with UC's CM program, we have such wonderful employers out of town. They actually help with housing when students go out of town. So it's not even the responsibility of the student. The employer is usually providing housing if the student's going to go out of town. And I'm a story person. So I had a student who worked in town for a semester, was a little bit nervous about going out of town, ended up going out to California to work, had never been on a plane before. And Helix Electric took him out to California to worked for Helix for a semester in San Diego. Then actually took a job with Helix in Hawaii. How fun is that? Worked in Hawaii, and then it ended up transitioning with Helix in Hawaii, and actually is a project manager in Hawaii today. This is a student who had never been on a plane before. But I'm just trying to, the scope, you can stay local if you want. You can work in Cincinnati if you want. If you want to explore doing something out of town, the program actually offers that. And it really gives you amazing experiences, not just, through the work that you do, but then outside of work that you do as well. And we are so fortunate that employers do pay for housing. My daughter went through DAP, which is at UC as well, and they went out of town for all their co-ops, and not once did an employer give her housing when she was going out of town. It was the responsibility of the students, but we have wonderful employers that do help with housing when students go out of town. And Dan, is there anything else you want to add about co-op?
I would just say this. I work with over 20 different universities in regards to their co-op programs. And bar none, University of Cincinnati with Jill and Maureen and others within that department, the amount of time and effort they spend to ensure that the students getting the best experience with the employers, no one does it better. Other universities are there, but not in the degree that the University of Cincinnati provides in regards to the professionalism, really the mentorship and so forth. So, you know, I'm a UC Bearcat. You know, I can't say enough about the University of Cincinnati and what it has to offer. So, again, take advantage of Jill and others within the department to help you obviously flourish and push your careers forward.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Anything else you want me to add? You're muted, Avijit.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We can answer questions if students have them. So, you know, maybe in a couple of minutes. We also have Kim and Jacob, because many of these students are transition students. So what is the process of transitioning from Blue Ash or Claremont to the Clifton campus? I think that is also important. So Kim and Jacob, could you spend a couple of minutes to speak to that, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Jacob is here as well. And my name is Kim Zimmer. I'm one of the advisors in the department, and I'll let Jacob say hi.
Hi, I'm Jacob Steele. I am the other advisor in the department. I have the first half of the alphabet, A through K. Kim has the second half. So that gives you an idea of who you'd be working with once you made a transition to CM.
Yeah, and transitioning to CM is a pretty simple process. You'll work with your current advisor and complete a form to transfer or to transition into CM. We review that information at the end of the semester. And at that point in time, if you are accepted, you'll get an email from Jacob or from myself that assigns you a class year and lets you know what you should be taking for that next semester. You're going to meet with us that next semester as well. But as soon as you get that email, you should be able to adjust a schedule and get moving so you feel more confident that you have those classes on your schedule. One thing about that email as well, please know that where you fall in our program is based on the classes that you still need and the classes that you've taken. We do everything looking at the program to make it the best fit for you. Sometimes that means you might co-op the very next semester after entering the college. Sometimes it means it might take a couple semesters before you go out on co-op, but overall it could save you an entire year from being before graduation. So we don't look at it where, you know, these are wonderful people, how long can we keep them here? We want to make sure you're on the best track that you should be on, and that is based on your classes that you still need and the classes that you have taken. Most importantly is making sure you speak with Jacob and myself. So he's going to talk to you about appointments and coming in to see us.
Yeah, when you are accepted to CM, after you get this letter from myself or Kim, we're going to be giving you basically an outline of classes, like she said, that you need to enroll in. We do require that you meet with us, even if it's not right when you get this email, if there's not like a chance or an opportunity before enrollment begins or the semester really gets started. During that first semester, you are going to be required to meet with us before you can continue enrolling in future semesters. And this really is just for a couple things. One, we want to make sure that you're on track, obviously. We're also this is like a really first opportunity for us to get to know some of you in some cases too. So it's a really good chance for us to just get to chat with you, kind of get to know you a little bit before you start going on to the program. We want to get to know some things about you and your future plans, just kind of get an idea of the best way to advise you moving forward with the curriculum. Once you're in the program, you aren't required to meet with us other than that first meeting. There is no actual requirement that you meet with us, though it's strongly, strongly encouraged that you do each semester. And in fact, that's what I usually recommend for any of my students anyways, is just even to check in once a semester so you can make sure you're still on track. It's probably a good idea. Some of you, though, are probably really interested to know where you might be sitting at in the program based on your current requirements and things like that. And if you would like, we have an option for you to meet with us before you actually even apply if you want, or before this the transition stuff really starts to get moving. In the Canvas module for transition, if you haven't already, actually, let me back up for a second. If you haven't already joined the Canvas page, the Canvas transition community for CAS, I'm going to post the link actually here in the chat. So that link that I just posted, you can click that to get access to our Canvas page. Now, this Canvas page is a great resource for lots of information regarding transition, some of the requirements, also a little bit more about CAS itself. The last module in the Canvas community will actually lead you to a sign up where you can schedule to meet with myself or Kim one-on-one. During these next 3 weeks, we're going to be having some virtual drop-in hours specifically to meet with potential transition students. So if you'd like, feel free to go ahead and sign up for one of those times. We'd love to meet with you. We can answer some of your questions then at that point too, and help clarify some of these transition steps. So please make use of those times. We'd love to get to chat with you. And that's really all I have about appointments. Kim, do you have anything else you want to throw in?
No, just really important wise, make sure when you meet with us that don't apologize for a question. Don't apologize for meeting with us if you need to do so several times. That is why we are here. So we absolutely want to make sure you have the best information and you're comfortable in the transition. So use us. That's why we're here and we enjoy doing so. That's it for me. Abhijit?
Thank you. Thank you, Kim and Jacob. Really appreciate it. These are great people. You're in good hands with Kim and Jacob. They really advocate for all of their students. I interact with them on a weekly basis, so I know that they are always looking out for students' best interests. And you're also, if you should you join us in the CM program, you also have an outstanding co-op advisor in Jill. She also, in the next 3 or 4 years, she'll really work with you, try to figure out what your interests are and where you want to go in life, and she'll try her best to, to help you get there, by organizing co-op opportunities and such. And then, there are folks like Dan. The one thing I try to emphasize to students is that your education co-op is just an equally important part of your education. Yes, you are going out to work full-time for a construction company, but at the same time, you are a student in the CAS, which means when you're going off on your co-op and you're working, you are also learning, you're also studying. That's a part of your education. And the more time and energy and effort you put in that part of your education, the better off you will be. Just to give you a sense, Dan is an estimator. In an estimating class in the university, we get about 40 hours of interaction with a student, right? And then we assign homeworks and such. That's a different issue. But one-on-one, I'll be able to interact for 40 hours a semester with a student. Now, if you go and work for Dan as one of his assistants, as a co-op, you'll be working 40 hours a week on estimating alone. And imagine doing that for 3-4 months straight. The amount of knowledge you gain, is just absolutely phenomenal, right? So you have all of these opportunities that are open to you. You can get great education on campus. You can get great education on your co-op. You can improve yourself, by joining student organizations. So by the time you head out of UC, you are a very well-rounded construction professional, right? We set you up for success. We are going to open all the doors for you, whether to walk in through those doors. That's your decision, and that's what you need to do to take advantage of every single opportunity that this college and university offers you in the construction management program. So that's all I have. Do you all have any questions for any of us? This is a problem with online meetings. Right now I'm just staring at my screen, and I chat with Dan, Jill, Kim, and Jacob all the time. So I'm sure they don't want to hear from me again. So I want to hear from you. What brought you here? What made you interested in construction management?
Hi, I'm Sam Dwyer.
Hey, Sam.
Something that Daniel said, or Dan, sorry, in the beginning was that he wasn't good at math, or he didn't feel confident in math, and his teacher told him that. So I'm kind of feeling the same way, but I'm slowly like getting a better understanding of these things and learning a lot faster and faster. I'm wondering how you studied for math and got to the point where you're able to do what you need to do in construction management.
So Sam, again, obviously, putting myself back in your shoes, an 18, 19, 20-year-old student, in regards to, again, learning, higher education, mathematics and what have you. Don't get me wrong, it was difficult. There was hours put in. I'll be honest with you, I got a tutor to make sure I did well. But that was a function of, what I wanted to accomplish as a whole with a degree. And I saw myself in the industry and what I could obviously do with it. So there are some sacrifices. There's the amount of effort and time that you have to put in to accomplish that. That was the approach I took. I reached out to, thankfully, I had a high school mathematics teacher, physics teacher that was willing to, tutor me and so forth. But, I also had my classmates that we had, study sessions and helped one another as well to learn. So, the one thing I'll say this that I've learned in my career in regards to, acting as the director of our co-op program, being a manager and a mentor to students, as well as I coach, I'm helping teach now, is that everybody learns differently. And you just have to find the way that you are able to comprehend the material. That could be verbally, that could be in written form, but finding a way that allows you to understand and comprehend the material and do it well enough. Not that I'm suggesting just pass, but achieve what standards you have set for yourself and what you want to achieve with your education. That's just the approach that I took in regards to, I saw the bigger picture of what the construction management program could provide to me. So there were certain things I had to do on the areas that I had weaknesses in, which was math, to make sure that I was able to achieve that degree and be in the position I am today. I am a pre-construction manager, which I do work with numbers, but it is more so, quantitative type of approach. It isn't as much as a lot of mathematic equations and problems to solve in that regards. But again, when you're out in the field, there are situations where you have to sit down and put pen to paper and figure out a problem mathematically in dimensions that you're using, geometry or trigonometry to be able to solve those problems. So you have to understand the basic theories and applications and know where to find the information you need to be able to solve the problems. So I know that was long-winded, Sam, but that helped better understand kind of my approach.
Yeah, definitely. You even asked or answered. I was gonna ask how you felt with your current work with math. So yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Good.
I'm just going to jump in real quick because I noticed Corinne had posted in the chat something that's really useful. Corinne gave a link to the Learning Commons, some of their peer tutoring options. I just want to point out that the Learning Commons is a great resource for really any of your math problems that you might be having. They've got a variety of resources available that can help you through a lot of stuff that might be a little challenging. So if that's not a resource you've tapped into before, I would at least at minimum check out their website, maybe send them an email to talk about some of the options they have and see if it's a good fit for what you're looking for. Just a thought.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet actually, so that's good. Thank you.
And I'm going to add one more thing to that is that, Sam, first of all, the fact that you are saying, I'm struggling a little bit and I need to do more to make this work, you're already ahead of the game than many students. So even though it gets frustrating and you're kind of maybe even surprised that you are struggling, the fact that you're ready to make a change or do something about it, other students don't always see that until they get their final grade, or it's the professor, or it's because it's cold out. So good for you right now looking for other options. That's definitely a plus. Make sure you do talk to your advisor about it. What other options, because they can brainstorm. I constantly think out of the box, like if there's someone doing really well in your class, offer them $20 a week or something. Maybe they can tutor you. So there's always ways to think or something to find. So make sure you also reach out to your advisor.
Okay.
I was just going to add one thing, because I have freshmen in class right now, and they are struggling. Virtual math is brutal. It's brutal. I'm telling you, the freshmen this year that are taking math are really struggling, because just think, you're doing all of this on virtual classrooms. So that's very difficult. And so Jacob and Kim are amazing, because if they know that you're struggling, then they'll make suggestions. Well, a smaller class would probably be better for you, and maybe taking it, here or here, and this particular place would be better for you. And they'll really give you guidance on like giving it and setting you up to succeed versus, just retake the class. They're really good about that. And so I'm sure this year, it's just been more of a challenge just because the students are taking math virtually.
What I've observed is once you pass calculus 1, and once you're beyond that, and once you successfully complete your first co-op, the probability that you'll graduate from UC increases dramatically, right? So those are the most difficult steps. Once you get through those, then I won't say it is smooth sailing, but it is relatively easier than what you're experiencing right now with your first year.
So you said it's difficult for like students to go into their first co-op?
No, once you've done with your first co-op, once you come
Oh,
back
okay.
to classes after your first co-op, for the most part, most students enjoy their first co-op quite a bit because you're suddenly working on $100 million hospital project. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
If you like
Yeah.
to be out and about, if you like to work with your hands, if you like to interact with people, it's even more fun to do that. Construction industry, offers a lot of variety of different career paths, right? You can be working at site, you can be working in the office, you can be doing technology, high-tech stuff like virtual design and construction. So there's so many paths that are open to you. And that's what the brilliance of our CM program is, where Jill is going to work with you and explain all of these various different paths and various different opportunities with various different companies that are open to you. Our program is going to be double sectioned, so we are essentially growing our program from current size of 250 students or in the CM program to close to 400 to 500 over the next 5 years. That is because there is such a huge demand for UC graduates from the construction industry, not only regionally, but also from national construction contractors. And that's because the students, by the time they graduate, are really well polished, technical knowledge, these interpersonal skills and everything in between.
Good afternoon. I had a question.
Go ahead.
It's regarding the internships. Where would be a good place to look for those internships? And also, like certain things like being certified in like OSHA 30 and stuff like that. How can the student kind of prepare to get more marketable during the internships?
So, Barry, that's my job. I can get you prepared to go out for co-op. And I promise you that we will work closely together to get you a position that fits you and what you want to do. If you take the if you take the safety class, you actually get certified for the OSHA certification. The main thing that you can do, and up starting out right now, and let's just say that you co-op in a year, is really just be involved. The Construction Student Association, and you don't even have to be in the program to be involved. They're having a meeting on Thursday. And if you're interested, I can put my email in the chat box. And if you email me, I will send you to actually participate. It's at 5 o'clock on Thursday. But be involved in the CSA. If you had some work experience, it will help you form your resume to showcase what employers care about. And I will promise you that, I'll give you the tools actually to get your job. So you don't have to worry about that. On an everyday basis, I'm talking to freshmen right now who are job searching, and the first thing I say is, okay, so don't worry about getting a job. So I'm going to prepare you, and I'm going to get you ready. You're going to get a job. So take that worry off your shoulders. I'm going to do that for you. I'll take that worry. But getting involved with Construction Student Association is the absolute best way to do it. And like I said, they're having a meeting on Thursday at 5 o'clock. North Point Development, which is one of our employers, are going to be there talking about what they do. It's a great way to network with employers. It's also a great way to meet upperclassmen, which is also really a key to getting jobs as well. I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay, please do. That helps a lot. I do have construction experience. I'm a veteran student. Construction has kind of been my life too. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
I love it. So
Yeah, and Barry, if you have construction experience, that's like key, and you'll get multiple, interviews, multiple. It's pretty standard with someone who comes in with experience.
yeah, because I got Nate certified in HVAC last year, and that was just kind of entry level into heat and air conditioning. But I'm trying to develop those type of skills, like all components of construction. So I'll definitely be in touch.
Barry visited us, me last year. He actually moved from Florida to Cincinnati just to go to UC. He's a veteran, so I hope you'll be able to transfer to the CM program. And if you need any more information, now that you're here, I can meet with you virtually at any time, Barry. So please feel free to reach out to me as well.
Yeah, it was a weird thing for me. I moved here, got here in March, and then on my birthday, Ohio put in the stay-at-home order because of the pandemic. So it was like, well, welcome to Cincinnati. So it's been like that, but I'll definitely need the support, and thank you for all your help.
No problem. We are here to help as well. All right, other questions?
Howdy, I'm Jack Bradley.
Hi, Jack.
I don't know if it's really a question. It's kind of like an introduction / question.
Okay.
I knew that I didn't want like an office job per se, and I've never been a huge number cruncher. I'm good enough to get by, so calculus is kind of a wall I'm trying to jump over. But like Dan said earlier, that they're like field craftsmen, and Dan also said that his strong suit wasn't math. Are there any or more job opportunities or titles like a field craftsman?
Jack, I will say this, the construction industry of any one thing that they have a tremendous need for is our field craftsmen. We're losing really that vital piece to our industry, having this skilled labor force to be able to construct our projects. So, and again, this is just a general statement. Higher education isn't for everyone. You got to find what you're passionate about, what you enjoy. If I can say anything looking back on 30 years in my career is that you do have to find what you enjoy doing, and you can get out of bed every day and have a passion and desire to want to go do what you love to do. And sometimes it's hard to disseminate between that and calling it work. But if you love what you do, it really isn't work. It's doing what you're passionate about and finding it. So, Jack, there's opportunities, on the field side in regards to you start out as a laborer, moving to maybe a lead carpenter, to a foreman, to superintendent. There's opportunities to progress your career versus just remaining in one, say role throughout your career. It's just a matter of what you want it to become, and obviously the motivation and your desire and willing to put forth that effort to achieve it. So there are opportunities in that regards. I will say this, that doesn't essentially eliminate math completely from construction. When you're out in the field, you have to be able to read a tape measure. You have to do basic math. We just had a training course for our field employees last week called construction math, and it was walking them through how to read drawings and understand how to, understand where a sleeve needs to be installed in a concrete wall, and you have to do the math based on the elevation because of math, but it's basic math less versus your higher math in regards to engineering. And don't get me wrong, and have Jeep jump in here is, there are engineers that strictly do design and that's math majority of the time. We're in construction, even in estimating, you're not going to be doing math 100% of the time, but you have to have that basic knowledge and understanding of the math, as I said, to solve basic problems in regards to the role or responsibilities that you have. Does that help, Jack?
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you. I knew from like a younger age that desk jobs were not my thing. So being out on a job site is really appealing, and like a different variation in job type, because I played sports in high school, so I'm used to sweating and feeling sore, and it's just secondhand to me. And the act of actually building something is really appealing. So I liked art classes, and I like Legos. It's just, I don't know, construction management and construction in general just seem perfect.
I just want to say one thing. My husband's in the trades, and I will just tell you that the skilled trades are in desperate need of people. And if you are interested in, being an electrician, a plumber, HVAC, all of them, and there is a path for management in those. There's also a path to own your own business if you want to do that as well. It is a huge need in the industry. I mean, the contractors like Danis and other contractors are in desperate need of more and more tradesmen in the field, and there's huge opportunities there if it's something that you want to do.
Sweet. I knew trades were always an option, but I wanted to go through or at least try college before I actually made a decision.
If I could add one other item is I have many students that come to work for Danis in the construction management program. I'll speak to one. I know both Professor Deshpande and Joe know well as Brandon Huffman, and he just graduated, and Brandon wants to become a field superintendent. So he obviously gained his degree in construction management, but he wants to go down the path to be truly out, working in the trenches and managing and directing others, field craftsmen, obviously to perform the self-perform work that Danis does. So there's still an opportunity beyond the degree to still take that path if that's where your desire is. And I have many students that take that path that have come through the construction management program. So that's an option as well, Jack.
Thank you.
Other questions? Adrian, Andrew, Jonathan.
I have a question about the CSA.
Okay.
So, how soon do you think I should get involved in
Right
this?
now,
Right
today.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. And like how do I get involved in it? I go to the website and
Yes. If you email me, I can share the information of, the president and all the, key people in CSA, and
okay.
they'll let you, know how you can get involved. But the best
Right.
thing you can do is on this Thursday, there is a virtual meeting now because of COVID, everything is virtual. One of my past students, Mark Werner from North Point, Jill was talking about him. He's going to present. So, just going to those meetings and hearing from these, various industry people and just really listening to them and trying to, because they are there to, one, promote their own business and their companies, but also trying to help you out, in terms of what skills you need, how you need to improve yourself. So that itself could be a really major benefit. And once you start in the CM program, once you get officially accepted, just reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with all the CSA officers, and then we can take it from there. It's absolutely priceless.
Okay. I think I'm actually signed up for a meeting, so it sounds
Awesome.
good.
All right. You're ahead of the curve.
And for everyone else, I just put that link for the meeting in the chat, as well as the codes and everything. And I didn't include the whole flyer, obviously, but even on the flyer, it says all welcome. So please don't feel like you have to wait to be in the program before attending. And attending doesn't lock you into 20 meetings a week or anything like that. Go and check it out and see what you like.
Yeah. And the students in that particular group are very friendly. They're helpful. They have co-opted with most, if not all, of the companies that typically recruit from UC. So they will give you, the student's point of view in terms of, which company is good for what. So there is an incredible amount of information out there with those students, and you can tap all that information if you join CSA. So I highly, highly recommend that you do that. You're already off to a good start, so good job. Also, if you're on Facebook, they also have a pretty active Facebook page, and they post about all the events that they're doing at there as well.
Is CSA the one who does the CAN competition?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Other questions? We are friendly, I promise you.
I don't have any question, but I just want to say thank you for this. This is super helpful. I'm not currently attending UC, but I plan to in the future. And I'm
Okay.
currently in next year, and I'm currently well, I got accepted into the exploratory program, but I really want to do construction management, so it was really cool seeing and learning
Awesome.
about the program.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
And Andrew, if you do have any more questions or you want to meet to discuss classes before you're actually here, just shoot me an email. I'll put it in chat as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
If I could say this, don't take this the wrong way. There are no dumb questions. The only dumb question is the question you don't ask. You're here, obviously you're all here because there's an interest. Again, maybe your questions have been answered based on other students' questions, but if there's something burning that you really want to know and that's important to you to make sure that you're making a good decision about your career and the rest of your life, use this opportunity to ask that question. As Avjit said, we're friendly. We're not going to bite. We're all here to help you. We want to see you all succeed moving forward.
Mhm. If you
I do have one question, and then I have another class coming up at 12:20. But one of the things that grabbed me about coming to UC was the fact that you can get a bachelor's and a master's in business. So typically, how long does that take? And can you help me visualize that process?
Barry, that's going to depend on how many credit hours you bring with you. It sounds like you do have a lot of experience in classes, I'm assuming. So when I know I was told that you've already signed up to meet with me. So when we look at that, we'll see how much room you have left and how many classes for the MBA and kind of get an idea of what that's going to look like.
Okay.
So it's not a definite answer right now, but I'm happy to look over it when we meet.
That's helpful. That's helpful. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Barry. All right. If you do not have any other questions, I'm sure Dan is a busy man, and Kim and Jacob also are busy. So if you do not have any questions, then we can call it a day. Dan has kindly put his email address in the chat box. So please take advantage of that. A great resource, absolute great resource. So thank you so much for attending this information session. I really hope that you decide to join the CM program. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us and we will try our best to answer your questions. All right. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Kim and Jacob, and thanks, Corian. I really appreciate your time. And
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you all for coming. Sign up for a
Yes.
one-on-one with us if you haven't yet.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.